she ceased to become a sexual icon for straight men, and that she no longer looked like something that was pleasurable to have sex with. She was hard. She wasn't soft and voluptuous as she was in the beginning.
The Gaultier bustier was a great visual gag, basically. That's all it was. Because clearly she's not going to go through real life dressed like that. She's not going to go to the shops dressed like that or walk down the street with a child. But it was good for a short spell of time in a live set. And the word short, I underline, because she knew the difference between a novelty and a permanent part of your image. Again, she was just very bright. She knew how to get attention, and she knew how to move on.
Not content simply to up the ante in the live arena, Madonna altered her image and her focus once more. With the video for the single Justify My Love, she took a brave step into the world of the erotic. And when it was deemed too explicit for MTV, it became the first ever video single released.
The 90s was a huge kind of movement as far as music was concerned. There became a kind of an energy for freedom and change, and a freedom of expression at that time, a kind of license to be as wild as you wanted to be. There were so many outrageous videos coming out at the time, and videos were having a lot of control musically. A music video exclusive was an exciting thing.
In 1990, Justify My Love, the video, was an incredible success, and it was very provocative and very risque. Love me. That's right. Love me. I want to be a baby. Yeah. Wanting. Needing. Waiting. For you to justify.
She's had a good concept of how to sell the package.
There's a great advantage if you're to being known as a button pusher or an envelope pusher, because then when you do something shocking, it's part of your persona to begin with. It just enhances the role that you would originally set out for yourself. So it's kind of a win-win situation.
At that time, so-called queer politics were really a big issue culturally, and she's always been a huge fan of gay culture, and I think she wanted to explore a lot of those different aspects of sexuality in her work.
She styled herself as a sexual predator, almost. And that was not something that we'd seen before. So when you are pushing the envelope like that, you pay a certain price. It's hard to be a front runner. You get tired. You just do.
The early 90s and the mid-90s, we were all kind of dealing with, even still at that time, I hesitate to say, but it was still a case of, is it okay to be gay? Is it all right to be a lesbian? Are we okay being this open and honest about things? And I think Madonna was very much at the forefront of breaking down those taboos before shows like Will and Grace came out and all of those kind of shows came out. Madonna was making those very bold statements in the early 90s.
With the release of the documentary Truth or Dare in 1991, Madonna once again courted controversy and criticism for her outlandish, diva-like behaviour on screen. Yet ironically, it became one of her most successful films at the box office, the public preferring Madonna as herself than Madonna as a fictional character.
It's almost as if Madonna was making an art installation about her life. The Truth or Dare film was her first real exploration of showing her life, and that worked. It did work as a film. People liked it. It was critically well received.
Because she's always been very clever at manipulating the media. So I thought, well, is this just like the perfect opportunity for you to show us what you want us to see of you? And I think there were elements of that, because there were times where she was obviously not being herself, and then there were times where I thought, well, I'm sure you wouldn't really want us to see that part of you. So I think, again, it was one of those times where I don't think it was entirely her. I don't think it was entirely an honest account of her. But I think if you looked clearly, you could see certain times where she'd let her guard down.
In the end, you know that she's not going to let anything out through Truth or Dare that she doesn't want let out. But that doesn't mean that what's in it isn't true. And the parts that humanize her are fascinating.
What I remember most about my mother was that she was She was very kind and very gentle and very feminine. I mean, I don't know, I guess she just seemed like an angel to me, but I suppose everybody thinks their mother's an angel when they're 5. I also know she was really religious, so I never really understood why she was taken away from us. It just seemed so unfair. I never thought that she had done something wrong, so oftentimes I wonder what I had done wrong.
She came across as really warm and really spontaneous and very inclusive and real sort of woman's woman. And there was a whole different side of her that came out in her live show.
This question, though, of how earnest it is and how much it is an act is actually also something that sort of works for her, because people are intrigued. It's something that people argue over, and it's hard to completely be sure. You know, I'm sure in part of everything she does, I think she is still the little girl who wants attention. And another part is quite earnest.
Earnest or not, Madonna's so-called erotica period almost destroyed her career. 1 year on from Truth or Dare, the sex book, the album Erotica, and the feature film Body of Evidence were released in short succession. Pushing the limits of the censors and the fans, many felt that Madonna's prolonged public exposure overstepped the mark.
I think what happened was that there was a bit of overkill, really. She'd been successful for so long that she thought it would be a good idea to sort of bring out an album and a book and a film at the same time, without realising that maybe that would be a bit of overexposure. And people did find that too much. They felt very uneasy with that she was all over the place.
You scared?
I think she sincerely wanted to use her body to make all the possible artistic statements she could about a body while she could, because she knew that it was going to self-destruct from an artistic point of view.
The sex book rebounded, I think. What she did was very brave and adventurous, but it confused people, because in some ways, for people who were really into erotic art, they felt she didn't go far enough. And for more conservative America, they felt that it was deeply shocking. So in a way, she fell between two stools there.
I can't think of another example of a celebrity, a female celebrity, revealing herself absolutely naked in public and having the point of view be her own. She was not an object in that. You know, it was about her sexuality, and it was as if she was looking at you, not you looking at her. And in order to achieve that, it takes a tremendous force of personality and will, and she had built up a great persona at that point that could let her have that perspective.
Her school of thought is that, you know, this latent sexuality is indeed empowering, but a lot of women, I'm sure, don't feel that way at all.
It kind of alienated her younger market, and there were a whole load of teenagers and younger children even that were loving her music and loved Madonna, and then all of a sudden there's parents going, oh no, you're not watching this one, oh no, you're not buying that record, and this one's sexually explicit, and you know, and this CD comes with a, you know, comes with a warning. It's like, you know, there has to be kind of breaks put on, and I think she did. I think she was smart enough to go, okay, enough is enough.